Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nirenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. This week, my dad is visiting for the first time, and we've got some fun stuff planned. He already drove my supercharged Lamborghini. We went to the Westworld set, and now he's gonna meet Farshad. This is gonna be ridiculous. Good morning.
Morning.
You ready to meet Farshad? Just rolled up to Alejandro's house. Well, this is a super exciting day. One, because my dad is about to meet Farshad, and two, because Alejandro is taking the Carrera GT in for service, which means I'm finally going to get my first ride in a Carrera GT. For people who aren't familiar with the car, which is probably not too many of you guys, I'll go over some of the specs. So they produced this car starting in 2004. Originally, they were gonna make 1,500 units. They only made about 1,250 to 1,270. Other than the styling, which obviously is incredible, the biggest exciting factor, there's two, of the Carrera GT is its 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V10. This has one of the best, if not the best, exhaust notes of any car. I just heard it start up. Hopefully when we take it for a spin, we can get some acceleration clips, but the noise this thing makes is absolutely staggering. The naturally aspirated V10 makes 605 horsepower and 435 pound-feet of torque. And the car only weighs 3,146 pounds. The crazy part is, despite this being made in 2004, that actually gives the Carrera GT a better power to weight ratio than a new Huracan Performante. Think about that. A 2018 cutting edge Huracan Performante has a lesser power to weight ratio than a 2004 Carrera GT. And that's part of the reason, because it's naturally aspirated, it sounds so good, that the values of these have gone up significantly. The base price of this back in 2004 was $448,000, and well, they're a lot more expensive than that now. Now, another huge part of why the Carrera GT is so celebrated is because it has a manual transmission. So let's hop inside and we'll check out the interior. Now, the door handle itself is kind of hidden in this intake vent here. Go ahead and open up the door. It's amazing the amount of carbon fiber work in this. The door, the sill here, the entire seat, the seat back. Look at that. Quilted leather on the ceiling. I've never been in the driver's seat of a Carrera GT, and honestly, the seat position of this thing is incredible. It actually feels very similar view-wise to a normal 911. And that's a good thing. It doesn't feel overly large. Now, one of the most unique aspects of the Carrera GT is the clutch. So we have this 6-speed manual. I love that they do the shift knob in this beautiful wood, Carrera GT 920. But the clutch pedal itself, in order to take off from a standstill, you can't give it any gas, so you just push the clutch in. Apparently the biting point of the clutch is like this far away from the floor. And then to get rolling, you release the clutch slowly and you don't give it any gas. If you give it gas, it basically stalls the car. Part of the reason why this thing is almost impossible to launch, but even still, 0 to 60 happens in 3.5 seconds. The quarter mile in 11.2 at 133 miles an hour. Once again, 133, that's about the same trap speed as a new Huracan Performante. Take a look at the dash, very similar to most Porsches you're used to, minus the fact that the speedo goes up to 225 miles an hour. The seats are very supportive, decently comfortable as well. Look at the air conditioning controls on an $800,000 to $1 million car. This is what you get. Look at the carbon fiber elements in the front bumper as well. Also, let's take a moment to appreciate the exhaust tips. That is a sick design, almost similar in a way to the shape of the center lock wheels. I think it's time to go for a ride in the Carrera GT. All right, so Farshad apparently is in this truck.
Are you a debt collector? Are you serving me?
I'm his father.
The actual father.
I'm actually the real father.
Hold on, let me see.
But, yeah. Wait. So,
what the?
What was that?
So you're the gay Persian guy who's been stalking my son?
That's right.
What?
I actually like
That's
Parker.
fair,
I actually like
that's
Parker
fair
very
enough.
much. She's a good kid. I like
No,
her.
he is a good.
This is just weird. I'm gonna go. Weirdest interaction I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, you know one thing?
Oh, yep. He's like, you know one thing, we're actually not going for a drive.
I made, I
Yeah.
lost this, and
Oh
everyone
my
was
God.
like, you were gonna die. You were so close to dying.
How did they notice that?
You can totally see it on the
Oh, really? The Carrera GT experts.
roll, baby.
This is why the Salamandran channel has much prettier shots. They got Buddy hanging out of a Raptor to get awesome B-roll of us just on the freeway. That sounds so good.
Listen,
He's releasing the clutch.
there. Then I can get
Yep.
it.
Wow.
That is the trick.
That's pretty tricky.
You gotta hear it.
Gotcha.
grab, and once it grabs, you can release. But until then, you can't.
Oh, you don't just dump the clutch at like 6,000 RPMs?
No.
Oh no. Oh, I was gonna try that later. Well, this is my first and probably last time ever being in a Carrera GT, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of every moment of this. Honestly, for like $1 million or less, this is my all-time favorite car.
There's just nothing else.
Yeah.
There's just nothing else. For $1 million or less. What? There's nothing between $500,000 and $1 million, right?
There really isn't. I was thinking about that the other day. Even new cars, there really isn't. They've kind of gone from like, there's the supercar in the 200 to 400 range, and then it's a hypercar
And
after
then
that.
there's a $1.5 million car, like a $600,000 to $1 million car, and then the 4 GT is impossible to get. So,
Exactly.
So great. So good news for everyone.
So I mean, having never driven one of these, my favorite things about it, it obviously looks incredible. The naturally aspirated V10, the fact that it's super light, a manual and rear wheel drive, it's kind of like the perfect combination of a manual mechanical driving experience.
Yeah.
What do you, I know you said this is one of your favorite cars, if not the favorite car you've ever had.
Yeah.
What do you like so much about it?
What I like about this car is that it's the car that showed me that paper means nothing. Like whatever you read on magazines, whenever you see all those figures.
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
car. Because if you read a Hellcat, if you're just looking at numbers, right, and you open a magazine and you're like, it's a V8 with a supercharger, 707 horsepower, rear wheel drive, then you're thinking, wow, that must be an incredible car.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a Hellcat. It's a fat car. It weighs 5,000 pounds. It doesn't handle well. It doesn't do everything in sync the way this does. This might not have the 707 horsepower. 610 is not bad.
It's not
You know what I
bad.
mean?
It's not
All
bad.
to the rear wheels. The moment you step on the gas, the moment you step on the clutch, you want to rev match whatever you're doing with the clutch with the car. It's so precise.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
See that? No other car can do this at this level.
And it's super raw. That's my preference of cars.
Yeah.
So like that's why I love the 720, amazing car, but I prefer the Performante because it's more hardcore, raw. You hear rocks bouncing off the chassis.
Yes.
and everything feels intense. This is like an even more analog, pure form of driving.
That, exactly. Like, it's good to get out of your supercar and be like, dude, I don't want to drive that until next week. Because it makes it more of a special thing.
No, it's
When
true.
you're getting a 720S, it's so easy.
You can drive it every day.
You take it, you can legit drive that every single day.
A lot of complaints I've heard about this car almost all have to do with the clutch.
Yes.
Is driving it that difficult?
No.
Is there a special technique or?
And there is a special technique, and you just gotta let all of the clutch go before you put your foot on the gas.
Gotcha.
Because if you give it a little gas while you're doing like on a regular clutch release, you're burning the clutch big time, and the clutch is really tiny in this car. It's a carbon ceramic clutch.
Yeah.
So they melt like a motherfucker super fast. So you don't want to deal with that. Normally people that don't know how to drive these will burn a clutch in 400, 600 miles on average.
600 miles.
Yeah.
And how much does a replacement cost?
Right now they're at $24,000. They keep going up.
Guys, imagine paying 24 grand every 600 miles, and that's just the clutch.
But that's if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So what best case scenario, what are we talking?
3 to 4, 5,000 miles. and if you don't drive the car and you're thinking, you know, well, the less I drive it, the better for the clutch also rots.
Oh.
So if you don't drive it, it also goes bad.
Yeah. So it's just a ticking time bomb. So you might as well just drive your Carrera GT and just do it properly. With the Gallardo, when I had one of those, it was like the original clutch in the 04, 05 before they fixed it in 06. People were going through them in 4,000 or 5,000 miles, complaining, what is it, made of cheese or some type of just
Oh,
like,
no,
I
yeah.
mean, this is a race car. It's a totally different world.
Yes.
But that's crazy to know. That
The other thing is how low the car is. That's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
big problem and an expensive one to have with this car. It doesn't have a lift. And we were just talking about it. If you want to put a lift on the car, you got to do it on the front and on the back.
Yeah.
Because the car is so low. So it's
Put
kind
the
of like...
Ford GT lift on it.
Exactly. If you give it a good old damage there, it's $40,000 at least.
To replace what?
To replace just the bottom thing that covers it.
Okay.
So
Probably made of plastic.
once I bought the car, I realized how expensive it was to run it. I was like, all right, I don't have the money to run it. Then once I got the money to run it, painted everything, now little by little, all the parts are going up in price.
Good.
It's very scary.
You're trying to stay above the Carrera GT line.
I really
It's like the Balboni line, but
it just keeps getting closer and closer to me. Like, no, you're not gonna drive this thing, mother. But how can you not when they sound like this?
that sounds so good. And what's the shift linkage like? Really smooth?
It's really smooth. The thing when the car is cold, it's really rough and it grinds the gears every single time. It's very much like a Zonda.
Yeah.
But when the car is running like right now, no problem. Like, it's
That's awesome.
the calibration. And once you get familiar with the car, that's the beautiful thing about these. Once you get familiar with your own car, there's nothing like that. No one can drive it better than you.
You can tell Farshad's just loving that Raptor.
Oh,
he's the happiest man alive.
Those Raptors are incredible.
They are such good cars.
Yeah.
Anything surprise you about this car?
Anything so? Yes. When I bought the car, I was expecting to have the greatest driving experience of all time. I thought it was going to be very easy to deal with. I had to master a different level of getting into a driveway without scraping.
Yeah.
Of being able to releasing the clutch without it up. All of that, I had to like step up my game, my driving game in every single sense. And that was the biggest surprise about this.
Gotcha. If you were to take one car out in your garage for a weekend drive for an hour, what would it be?
Oh, this. This is what I pretty much do every weekend.
That's
All
awesome.
the miles I'll put in the car are just on the runs that I always see you on.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you've driven this a decent amount actually.
Yeah, I got it with 2,000 miles. It's almost at 3,000 miles now.
For a Carrera GT, that's pretty legit. You haven't had it that long.
No, and they say for every 50 mile that you run the car, this was like 2 years ago. For every mile it would cost $50 on average. You were losing $50 because you're driving the car, you're putting miles on it. So that was the cost. So 1,000 times 50, $50,000 I just lost.
It's worth it, yeah. Check this out, guys. So I am back at Alejandro's house, and he just showed me this is a mirror, a side view mirror from his Pagani Huayra that he used to own. Apparently, they have Italian spec mirrors, but the US mirrors are slightly different, so you have to replace them, but they give you this anyways. Estimated value somewhere $20,000 to $30,000 for this carbon fiber mirror. This is Tata, Alejandro's squirrel. Can't believe I just said that.
That's right. Come here, princess. There you go.
All right, man. Well, I hope the service bill's cheap on the freaking Porsche.
Thank you. No. I
I'm
appreciate just
serious.
the fact that you said and put it out in the universe to be $500.
I could see how
appreciate
stressed you were when they're like, "Oh, we've never even seen a check engine light on a Carrera GT."
Thank you for
All-time
introducing
great
me to
car.
John.
And then we
That's
got-
awesome, dude. It's a pleasure, John, for real. Thank you so much for coming. And I really hope I can see you more up in here.
I'll try, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What the?
There we go. Oh, you gotta get it there.
Another fantastic day. Honestly, riding in a Carrera GT has been a life goal of mine. I love that car so much, and to be able to do it and do it with a friend is fantastic. So Alejandro, thank you so much. If you guys want to watch the video from his perspective, he does a whole bunch of different things throughout the day. Check out Salamander's channel. Unfortunately, it's time for my dad to go home.
Aww.
You got to visit again. That was a ton of fun.
Oh, I will.
Good. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.